Welcome, everybody. John Zager. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day here in Colorado, Eastern Slope. Pretty warm, 85 degrees. Probably may make 90. It's been pretty hot. No rain in the forecast. Farmers are all drying out their corn, getting ready. A lot of them are cutting it already. You guys know that 85% of the corn in America goes to feed livestock, right? All the corn you see everywhere around that gets cut, you think's going for you, but it's not. I think it's only 15% goes to humans. Late afternoon, 2:41. Just busy. Yesterday, I got tied up. Not literally tied up. Yesterday I was trying to change matter with matter. Whenever I say that, it's me having to find avenues to make some money. And it's usually the old hard way, doing labor. But that's okay. That's part of the deal. It's not supposed to be perfect, right? And I continue to strive to make my changes to get better, so I don't have to use the old idea of matter to change matter. So today I'm back. Yay. Here's the deal. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Now I'm going to preface that a little bit. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, either consciously or subconsciously. Do you guys understand that? Okay? Where you're at is based on your thoughts. Your thinking. If you are living in abundance, wherever, I don't even care. It's based on all the thoughts and thinking and directing your energies into something that you've desired previously. Real simple. Simple. And that puts you in that current position. Really good iced tea. Decaf, you guys, decaf. If you're living in lack, what about our old example of John living in the back of his pickup truck for 10 years? Okay? If you're living in lack, that's lack, right? Relatively. That's as a result of your thinking, your thoughts, putting your energy in that direction previously, to end up in lack at this time. Right? If you're, maybe you're married and you have a beautiful family and some nice kids and a little home and good job and, everything's going good. That's you. That's as a result of your thinking. For quite some time, you've been directing your energies into making that happen. Yeah? And sure enough, it happens. If you are living in a motel down in downtown Phoenix, and you're just barely getting by, and a little job here and there, and no relationships, and you have to take the bus or something, public transportation. That's you. You got yourself there. That's as a result of your thinking, your thoughts, directing your energies into being in that current position. All right. So you guys understood all that, and you guys certainly understand what I gave you 4 examples. Okay. So the other thing I said when I first started was that it's as a result of conscious or subconscious. Now, most people end up in the position they're in because of conscious thoughts. Conscious thoughts. You want to be a rodeo cowboy or a rodeo cowgirl. I don't know. One of them. And you think about it all the time. And you dress that way, and you act that way, and you get current on all that kind of information and how it works, and you go out and put all your energy into being a cowgirl or a cowboy. And you love it. And you're excited about it. And you've actually gotten good at it. Right? Well, sooner or later it comes true, doesn't it? It sure does. Now, do you actually end up being a rodeo cowboy or cowgirl up in Cheyenne Frontier days? I don't know, maybe. Maybe. But then again, maybe you find yourself a nice little home in the country, and you get a horse in the backyard, and you ride them, on trail rides or something, and, you dress Western, and you hang out with people who go to rodeos, and, it kind of becomes a way of life. And it's great. And no, you don't have to, be a calf roper up in Cheyenne or anything like that. I mean, you could, but it doesn't mean like you have to go that far. But that all happens because of your conscious thoughts directing your energy consciously into creating and designing that life or lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. How cool is that? How cool is that? Right? So, you all understand that. What if you're on the streets of Detroit, humping your ass trying to survive? You don't have a family. You're living downtown. I've never been to Detroit. I assume there must be some sort of inner city down there. You're trying to avoid all of the crime and violence and drugs and prostitution, and, it's a struggle. It's a tough life. It's not fun. And let's say previous to this, you lived in San Antonio, and you were a businessman, and you were fairly successful, and things were going well. You weren't real rich, but you weren't real poor, and you had a little place that you rented, and maybe you thought things were, going in a somewhat pretty good direction. So how you end up in the inner city of Detroit on the streets is probably subconscious. Probably a subconscious process. Now, there's a couple things that could have happened, right? This is all neuroscience. It's how the brain relates to the nervous system, right? This is real simple stuff, you guys. Everybody understands this stuff. So, you're moving up in the world in San Antonio. And for whatever reason, there's a turning point. This is all subconscious, remember? This example is an example of someone who gets someplace as a result of subconscious thoughts, processing behind the scenes, under the scenes, that arrive you at the current location you're in. And for whatever reason, like I was saying, you hit a block down in San Antonio. The next move would be to into management, and you're scared to death of managing people and talking to a group, and you have some bad beliefs about acquiring large sums of money and being prosperous and successful, and there's blocks, right? Now, this is all subconscious stuff. You don't know what's going on. So you set yourself up, you sabotage yourself so that you don't succeed. Yeah? And, one thing leads to another, of course. We all know that. And you end up losing your position in San Antonio, losing your money, your amounts of money, right? And you have to end up moving out of San Antonio. And for whatever reason, I don't know how to make that scenario work, but you end up in Detroit trying to survive. Okay? And that's how, subconsciously now, you end up on the streets of Detroit. You didn't do that consciously. You didn't go out and say, I'm going to go screw up my life. You didn't do that. You're not that kind of person, right? You didn't do that. You're not that kind of person. But as a result of the subconscious thoughts going on behind the scenes, under the scenes, things go sour, and this, that, and the other thing happens, and you wander into Detroit, and you're on the streets trying to survive. It's the same thing with our example that we use over and over again, which is a good example, you guys. The guy in the back of his pickup truck for 10 years who used to be highly successful, right? How did that guy end up living in the back of his truck? And how come he's unable to get out of the back of his truck after being back there for 10 years. How in the world can you stay in the back of your truck for 10 years? 10 flippin' years. Well, there's two things. There's two things. You ready? All right. Number one, you didn't consciously try to do that. Lord forbid, I hope not. Lord forbid, I hope not. But you didn't consciously say, I'm going to let my life deteriorate to the point that I end up living in the back of my pickup for 10 years and I don't get out. I can't get out of there. I can't get back up on my feet. That's not a conscious thing you think of. It's the same thing as the guy, now from San Antonio to Detroit. It's a subconscious process that goes on through your thoughts that, due to old belief systems, okay, you guys, kind of talking neuroscience here, right? Old belief systems that were given to you that are not even yours, that you're living by and making terrible, terrible decisions. And you end up sabotaging yourself, your life, your friends, your family, your career, your everything. You just start sabotaging everything. Or enough, right? So that you fail. You lose everything. And all you have left is the back of your pickup truck. That's a subconscious thing. Now, the sad part, sadder part, and this is really disgusting, is that in the length of time of the 10 years you've been back there, probably sooner rather than later, those old belief systems switched over from the subconscious side, that's where you don't hear them, right, to where they become conscious, the conscious side of your brain, and you do hear them. And then you still don't know what to do in order to change it to get out of your flippin' bed of your truck. That's the worst part. Once you understand what happened and you don't get out, that's where it becomes sad. That's where it becomes really, really sad. I understand things when they're on the subconscious side and really you don't even know they're going on. And that's one thing. But once it goes from the subconscious to the conscious side of your head and you do nothing about it, or, I don't know, maybe you make some attempts at it and they're kind of feeble attempts, then you're basically saying, I accept this lifestyle. I choose to be in the back of my truck. Sad. Sad. Out at the house, checking the house out, you guys. House over here next to me. It's putting in this is all new construction, of course. house next to me is putting in a in-ground swimming pool. Huh. That's kind of cool. But so you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Male, female, young, middle, older, it don't matter. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. As a result of consciously or subconsciously having thoughts directing your energy into your current situation. Pretty simple, huh? All right. Here's the takeaway. The takeaway is your belief systems. Somewhere your belief systems say one of two things. You like where you're at, or you don't like where you're at. What's Tony Robbins' thing? Pain or pleasure. You end up here or there as a result of pain or pleasure. Belief systems. My thing, I maintain, once it becomes a conscious side of your brain and you're able to process the information, you can change it and create a different life. Dr. Joe's position. Bottom line, you have a choice. Dr. Joe talks in terms of health. And so do I. I probably lean a little more heavily on mental health. So here's the deal. You can change who you are. You don't have to be who you are. If you had belief systems that had blocks in them that prevented you from being abundant, wealthy, financially secure, you can be another person. You can change your personality. You can become somebody who is accepting of having a good life, and you can do it in the state of joy. You don't need to be in pain, have a disease, have a diagnosis, have trauma. You don't have to have the negative stuff in your life going on in order to say, it's time that I change. You can change when you're in a state of joy just as much. Tony's saying the same thing. He's just saying you can make those changes whether you're in pleasure your life is going well. And you don't necessarily have to be in pain to have that happen. Follow me? So, think about it. Good podcast. Good podcast. How are we doing on time? Okay. So, last comment. Some people have been contacting me. Not a lot. A few. And I am really grateful. And I thank you. And everyone that has commented has had favorable, positive things to say about the podcasts. And that's great. I'm very, very happy about that. Thank you very much. I am just delighted. And please keep sending in your comments. That means a lot to me. And they don't have to be positive. I mean, hopefully they are. But I mean, they all don't have to be positive. I mean, if you got a criticism, I'm a big boy, I can handle it. So, again, thank you for those people. In parting, got to do it. I don't want to do this changing matter thing again and again. Send your nickels, penny nickels, dimes, quarters, dollars, any amount you can to my PayPal account. I'm self-supporting. I don't work for anybody. Everything I do, it would be great if I could receive a little income based on if it's beneficial or not. I would hope maybe somebody could afford to put a little something in the PayPal account, which is jzegar@gmail.com. jzegar@gmail.com. You have to have a PayPal account of your own, and it only takes a minute or two to set one up, but most everybody has a PayPal account, so if you could do that, I sure would appreciate it. God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. See you, bye.